We will be calling the meeting to order. The time now is 5:30. So, Mr. Koenig, if you can do roll call, please.
Vice President Carter Ocampo.
Present.
Present.
Trustee Guadalupe Gilpes Pereira.
Present.
Trustee Leticia Garcia. Ms. Garcia is absent.
Pledge of Allegiance. If Ms. Koenig, if you can lead the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Please stand. Ready? Salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We will proceed with spotlights. Do we have any spotlights today?
Yes, we have at least two spotlights. First one is by Monica Anzo.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Vice President Ocampo. So my spotlight today is something that we're going to implement for the school year 2024-25. There's going to be a number of behavioral health therapists providing counseling for the LSL students, and it's going to increase to about 45%. And this is thank you to the bipartisan Safer Communities grant that the district obtained for additional behavioral health therapists through the expanded of effective school solutions. And this is thanks to Ms. Garcia and PPS and her team. And the district will continue to utilize MCBH, or the Monterey Behavioral County Health, for our students with our special day classes or special needs. So under this participation in the Monterey County SELPA MOU with MCBH at the cost of $370,000. So we'll continue with that contract. And the number of clinicians provided by MCBH for the special education will increase by half an FT. So we currently have 2, so it'll increase to 2.5. However, all clinician services to general education students will be provided by ESS, which is this Effective School Solutions. Overall, the number of clinicians available to the district students will increase by 4.5 FT. So this is great news for our students and our school sites.
We also have a spotlight by Mr. Abbasi.
And of course, my spotlight is always about money. We have a happy news. We are receiving a grant from Community Foundation for Monterey County, and the grant is in the amount $433,000. And the purpose of this grant is to help our teachers mitigate the increasing healthcare cost. This money is going to be given to our teachers as accounts payable check in the amount $1,000 per teacher. We are in the process of figuring out and mapping out the timing of that distribution of funds. Hopefully that will happen sometime in July and August. On June 26th, we are planning on bringing a board action or as an information to Board of Education as a formal item to describe the grant, the amount, the purpose, and how we plan on distributing that. So that's a very happy news for our teachers to help with their increasing healthcare costs, which is ever increasing. The grant is from Community Foundation for Monterey County, and CHOP is a joint effort between these two organizations.
Good. Thank you. It's great news. I'm sure $1,000 will help our teachers a little bit with their health costs for this coming year. We'll continue now with the adoption of the agenda. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, any comments? Oh, very good. Okay, Mr. Koenig, if you can take a line vote, please.
Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpis Pereira,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We will move on then to public comment. Public comment concerning items from the open agenda and/or non-agenda items. Uh, Today, we will be limiting this to 1 minute per person because we do have a lot of people wanting to make public comment, and we have a limit of 20 minutes. More likely, we'll go over the 20 minutes. But the 1 minute should give an opportunity for everyone to speak. Also, if there, if someone has said what you want to say, then you may want to not speak. It's your choice. Or if there are 4 or 6 of you, maybe you can find a spokesperson that one person can go and speak for all the people. So there is no citing at one's time to another individual. Individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on open session agenda items and/or other items may do so at this time. And we have a starting time of, see if I can see the clock. 5:36 will be the starting time. So let's begin then with. I'm going to try to say these names as best I can. Estefania, I think. Not sure what the last name is. I apologize. Chayoa. Thank you. Chayoya. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Estefania. Dear members of the Alisal Union District Board, I come today not only as a member of Tonatiu, but as a maestro and as a community member. I would like to speak on the impact that Tonatitos has had on me, but also the impact that it has had on the children. I've been a maestra for 3 years now, and the growth that I've seen within the children can't be measured by numbers. I've seen students who have gone from being the shyest and most quiet in my class to be the most confident, loudest, and most outspoken in the best of ways. I've I've seen students who came in not knowing how to dance and become leaders and helping other students. The impact the program has had has not only transformed the life of students, it has transformed families. I feel like the decision to cancel our contract was taken by one person without considering the joy and confidence children and parents take from the program. I have had students express how this program is the highlight of their days, and parents tell me how their children have improved in the school since joining the program. I have also created great bonds, and with that, making every single one of the students feel comfortable and confident.
Well, I think you're timed out. If you want to maybe summarize.
Yeah. Basically, I this program has thrived for over 30 years in the district, and that is a reflection of the amazing work Ramon Silva has done. This group of maestros that Mr. Silva has mentored and taken under his wing are some of the most selfless people I have met, going above and beyond for every student without a second thought. I ask that the board carefully consider the cancellation of the contract because I believe all aspects of these children's lives should be taken into account, and this would be a detriment to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mia Almaraz.
Good morning, good afternoon, fellow members of the Alisal District Board. My name is Mia Eileen Almaraz, and I am a member of Tonatio and a current 5th grader at Fremont Elementary School. I'm in front of you today to discuss why Tonatio should stay in the district. First, I have been in Tonatio since kinder at Fremont. This is where I had the pleasure of meeting new friends and the love for dance started. I had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Silva and these amazing teachers, known these teachers and Mr. Silva for 6 years now. They have been nothing but amazing, wonderful, and welcoming teachers. Miss Leslie, Miss Stephanie, Miss Mari, Mr. Fabio, Mr. Jesus, Miss Ilse, Teacher Yasmin, and Mr. Silva have taught me so much. Children like myself are being affected with the decision of removing Tonatio because for me, Tonatio is not just a program, it's a family. to me, and it would be a shame to see it go. The LSL Union School District is lucky and privileged.
You want to wrap up?
Yeah. Privileged to have this program. It would be heartbreaking for me not to see these amazing teachers next year. I believe Mr. Silva and Tonatio are making a big impact the district and should continue at the district. I have made so many memories with Tonatio and would love for future students to have the same with this. I would like to say keep Tonatio and Mr. Silva in our district, and thank you so much, fellow members of the board, and please take me, a student, in Tonatio's reasons to keep Tonatio in our district. Please let our voices be heard. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mia. Alma Alonso. Okay. I just have, let's see, Mrs. I'm sorry, Samarapia. Sorry for pronunciation, Samarapia.
Well, good afternoon, fellow members of the board. I am Mia's mother. My daughter has been in Tonatio. I'm here in front of you guys to speak about Tonatio. Tonatio has made a really big impact in the Alsa Union School District for our children. My daughter as well, she's been in Tonatio since she was in kinder, and I really think that Tonatio has brought the best in her, has given all these children opportunities. They actually presented at Sherwood Hall not that long ago and did a really amazing job. And I think Mr. Silva and the decision of cutting the contract was not fair because our children's voices were not heard. And I just wanted to bring it up to you guys' attention and for the children. The children are here for a reason. I think they deserve to be heard. And then thank you so much for your time. I wish I could have more time to speak, but I'm running it short. But thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Jesus Nieves.
Good afternoon, fellow board members. I'm also one of the parents. I'm Mia's stepfather, as a matter of fact. I'd like to thank you for the time. Just clean and simple. Donatio is a big part of all these kids. Kids, their families are here. Their teachers are here. Thank you for listening to them. Give them your time to hear them out. It's been a part of all of our schools for so long. To see it go away, it's a big, big minus for us. If you don't believe me, look at that illustration right there of those girls dancing. Thank you.
Fabio Alvarez.
Good afternoon to everybody. I'm Fabio Alvarez, co-director of Tonatio Dance Santos del Quinto Sol. I've been a folklorico teacher for over 25 years. Today, with all respect, I would like to share with you a couple of incidents. We at Tonatio as a corporation, we got professionally attacked by another folklorico company called Los Danzantes del Valle. They're trying to unshine us and take away the program, utilizing the power of the lie, trying to, they're trying to compromise the integrity of our program. And to my values, to my ethics, that's not professional. We don't work like that. Also, we got a very pass-through email from Mr. Jose Fausto, the director of Extended Learning Program, saying that our program doesn't align with the district vision anymore. We just had an incredible folklorico night at Sherwood Hall with almost 2,000 people. Let me tell you something. Almost 1,000 people were from Alisal Union School District, families, students, performers. To wrap it up, I would like to ask you something. What other organization is gonna create a space for all these students to find themselves, to express their culture, to get involved with their culture, to help them improve their self-esteem? It's just very unfortunate and very sad, very heartbreaking, not also for us as a corporation, but for the students that they're coming into the new programs. Thank you so much for your time and have a great day.
Octavio Murillo.
Good afternoon, board. I am a student of a folklorico program that began in Salinas almost 40 years ago at Sanborn Elementary School, which is now Jesse Sanchez. I now teach folklorico at another elementary school because I understand the importance of having a fun, active cultural program available for all schools in Salinas. I make the time to teach folklorico because it's my passion, and I want to pass that passion of folklorico dance to our newest generations, including my own kids, which I teach. Dancing folklorico is not a few weeks course. It's a school year-long process that requires time and dedication from the teacher and the students. I understand one person, Jose Fausto, has decided on behalf of the district that he is the voice of all the parents here, the voice that with one keystroke of an email decided to end this program that believes is not in line with the district vision. Well, we are here to say otherwise. The parents and children have made it clear they want folklorico, a full program in which they can participate all school year long, a program that teaches culture all school year long, a program in which they can learn and
Can you
showcase
wrap
their
it up, please?
folklorico dances, a program that enriches not only them, but their classmates and other teachers, a program that has proven that if you keep students busy with the activities, they can grow up and return to the same communities as professionals in all types of career fields. I myself work in state law enforcement, and I have returned to my community. I give back to this community by teaching folklorico. I hope that you as a board recognize the parents and students' wishes in honoring that we want folklorico to continue at Alisal School District. Thank you.
I would respectfully ask you to maybe not applaud, because we have a tremendously long agenda. We do want to listen to you, and we do want to hear what you have to say. Obviously, that's why we're here. We are interested. But if we can just move along without the applause, then we can move along just a little bit quicker. And also, that would be appreciated. Eva Silva.
Good evening, buenas noches, Superintendent and members of the board. My name is Eva Silva, and I had the distinct honor of being one of the first teachers for Tonatiuh Danzantes del Quinto Sol back when I working for Alisal Union School District about 30 years ago. Our founder and executive director, mi hermano, Ramon Silva, started this remarkable organization with the vision rooted in personal experience. Growing up in Mexico, Ramon was often chosen to perform in folklorico dance groups. However, the cost of outfits and classes meant that my family could not afford to support his passion. This barrier fueled his determination to ensure that no child in our community would face the same obstacles. Being a former teacher of Alisal School District, he taught his own classes here free. You just heard Mr. Murillo was one of his former students. I had a longer one, but since its inception, Tonatiuh has been committed to offering free folklorico classes. This mission has not only persevered, but promoted our rich cultural heritage. And to this day, they are here in our community, and I'm saddened to see that the kids in this district will not be offered this great opportunity, as my own children really gained from it themselves. And I know, my two sons dance at Cesar Chavez Elementary, are now Stanford students. And I know that all the love, the culture that they received from this organization has helped them become stronger and better human beings. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ramon Silva.
Buenas tardes a todos. My name is Ramon Silva Ruelas, and I am here to represent Tonatiuh Danzantes del Quinto Sol, a nonprofit organization that has been dedicated to serving the Alisal School District for 30 years. I am the founder and director of the organization, and I am here because last week I received an email from the Extended Learn Director letting me know that our contract will not be renewed, and no reasons were given of why. I sought clarification, and I'm still waiting for a response. We have been teaching folklorico in all schools in the district, and all we have heard from students, parents, teachers, and administrators is what a positive impact the program has had on students. I'm a retired teacher from Alisal Union School District and Salinas Unified School District. I hold a master's in dance, a BA in Latin American Studies, and a teaching credential. My background includes extensive studies in Mexican folk dance in Mexico. I've been in various universities and cultural entities across Mexico. I've served on the board of several dance organizations in the US, Mexico, and South America. I'm currently an active member of the Research Institute of Mexican Folk Dance. Tonatiuh has a long history with Alisal Union School District. We began offering free classes to a few schools in the district 30 years ago. In 2017, we formalized our commitment by becoming a district-funded after-school partner. By 2021, we expanded our reach to teach at all schools in the district. Tonatiuh and I have been honored as champions of the arts by the Monterey Cultural Council and the state of California in 2010 and 2017. I want to express my deep appreciation for the 30 years of partnership with the district. Together, we developed a unique and strong folklorico dance program that has been a source of pride and joy for our students, their families, and the broader community. Tonatiuh will continue its mission, and it's already working with other districts. We remain dedicated to promoting and preserving Mexican folk dance and will persist in our efforts to provide exceptional cultural experiences for students. We will miss the Alisal community, the students, and the families. Thank you once again for the years of collaboration and support. Adios.
Miriam Gomez.
Good afternoon, members of the board. I'm Miriam Gomez, president of the board of directors for Tonatiuh Danzantes del Quinto Sol, also a teacher for Tonatitos. As you know, Tonatiuh has a long-standing history with the Alisal Union School District of over 30 years. We have been and still are the best folklorico company in the county and possibly in the state as well. We are one of the folklorico groups with the most extensive repertoire of traditional music, experiences, knowledge, very prepared teachers, outfits, accessories within the US and possibly within Mexico because of the quality of preparation of our teachers and the outfits and the experience that we offer your students. There are false statements being made about our company, such as that we're charging families and students to join the classes. That is completely unfounded. There's also statements about having preferential treatment on who gets to participate. All our students and families are welcome to participate equally. We create opportunities for students to perform at their own schools, other schools, community events. Additionally, we organize quite a few events throughout the year so that everybody can participate. I ask that you reconsider and I hope that you don't miss out on this opportunity, which is being asked for at other districts. Thank you for your time.
Victoria Carranza. What was that?
Hello, my name is Victoria. I have been a proud member of Donatiu for over 10 years now. I started when I was in high school, and I have had the great opportunity to be a part of Donatiu for that long. And it just brings so much pride when I see our young students that are having the opportunity to start at such a young age. I wish I would have had when I was in elementary school. And it's just really, really sad that we're not able to continue this relationship with this district. As everybody has previously stated, we definitely have a lot of support in our other districts, but I know that everybody in Tonatiu, especially El Maestro Ramon Silva, would love to continue where he started, which was LSL. So we really, really ask that you guys reconsider, that you guys allow us to be a part of the community like we have been for the last 30 plus years. But thank you so much.
Natalia Oñate.
Dear board members, my name is Natalia Oñate and I am a student from Frank Paul Elementary. I would like to take a minute to express my feelings to you. I have been dancing with Donatitos for 6 years. It has become my favorite activity to do and I look forward to practices and performances every day. It has also become a family activity at home where I teach my siblings the choreography I have learned. I have been teaching my younger brother since he was 3 years old so that when he was old enough to join Donatitos, he would know how to dance. My youngest brother has also been learning for the past 2 years, and he is looking forward to joining the group next year when he joins first grade. Donatitos has not only taught me how to dance, but it has also taught me about culture, helped with my confidence and self-esteem, and I have learned to work with others. I hope that you will reconsider your decision in allowing my brothers and other students to have the same opportunity and experiences that I had, as Donatitos has become a part of my family. Thank you.
Thank you. Emilio Oñate.
Hello, I'm Emilio, a third grade student at Frank Paul. Dear board members, I am writing this card with much respect to tell you all know how I feel about the program Tonatitos Folclórico. I have been a part of the program since I was 6. I love the program because I have been dancing folclórico since I was 3 because my sister Natalia inspired me and taught me to do so. I met Miss Yasmin since then, and she is a wonderful dance teacher. With her, we have learned to dance many different dances from different regions in Mexico. I have passion in learning folclórico, and it has helped me my confidence so much. But I feel and know no one wants this program to end. We have become family. Thank you for your time and consideration, Emilio.
Gracias, Emilio. Mia Méndez.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mia Mendes from Frank Elementary School, and I've been in Folklorico for 6 years starting at first grade. Even though my years with Donatitos are over due to middle school, it makes me sad to see that this amazing journey is cut short for the kids who were supposed to have years left. I don't only love Folklorico because I get the opportunity to dance, but also because I have made many friends through it and I have met my amazing teacher who has been with us since forever, Ms. Jasmine. Folklorico has been my life, and it's sad to see how one person can make the program go away so fast and carelessly. I hope that this is all over soon and taken into consideration. Thank you.
Julian Palacio.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is Julian Palacio, and I come before you today as a supportive uncle. My niece and nephew, they both love this, and I know this as well, we all do. We all are children. We all used to be children, and we both know that when we look up to our elders, we want to be just like them. And we both know the struggles that we all experienced as a kid. They all said it themselves with self-esteem. It's important to be involved with people around the same age, close to age, just a few years and a little bit years older than them. They look up to them. They look up to these, they look forward to these experiences. And, you know, I come from out of town, and I'm sure a lot of other people do as well. And we look forward to this. It creates a lot of memories, and I definitely think that they want to tell their kids in the future the experiences that they shared, and you know that they didn't have to go through an experience of all this coming to an end. So thank you.
Allison Perez.
Good evening. My name is Allison Perez, and I proudly stand with Donatio. I have dedicated 3 years to Valle Folklorico team and hope to dedicate many more years. Donatio was the first program I joined after the pandemic, and what started as a program became a community and a family. During this time, I have embraced the value of dance, learned about diverse cultures, and understood the importance of commitment and responsibility. I express my frustration and sadness as just a few days ago, the community I've grown to love was suddenly taken away by Mr. Fausto. Donatio is not just a folklorico program, it's a source of inspiration, encouraging students to explore and wonder. We do not need a replacement program. We need Donatio to continue to support me in all current and future dances. I want my voice to be heard. I stand with Donatio and I hope you stand with me. Please remember how important it is for me to have a community that keeps me safe and helps me grow. And I encourage the board members and Mr. Koning to stand with me and keep Donatio at Alsa Union School District. Thank you for your time.
Tanya Perez.
Good evening. My name is Tanya Perez, and we, the parents and student dancers, are not simply advocating for any folklorico program. We are specifically advocating for the continuation of Tonatio. Unfortunately, this long-standing partnership was abruptly terminated recently without taking into account the voices of the parents or students involved with Tonatio due to the decision of one person, Jose Fausto. It is essential to acknowledge that the Alisal District has been dedicated to creating community schools that nurture relationships with families, students, and leadership. Mr. Fausto's decision does not align with this declaration, as he disregarded the voices of the parents and students. Therefore, we are gathered here today to ensure that our voices are heard and considered. Tonatio holds a special place for my daughter, as it was the first community she joined in the Alisal District after the pandemic. This community has provided her a safe and nurturing environment that emphasizes diversity and has supported her in developing the skills necessary to reach her academic goals. The members of Alisal Union School District introduced Tonatio to its students because they knew they could make a difference in each student's life, make a difference in the community. Thank you for your time.
Alma Loredo.
Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa. Mi nombre es Alma Loredo. Soy mamá de 3 estudiantes que fueron de este distrito y organizador de Padres con Padres Unidos. Estamos aquí con Padres Unidos y nuestros colaboradores de Bright Beginnings, expresando la necesidad de tener un plan de involucramiento de familias que permita a los padres ser parte de la toma de decisiones que son críticas para el distrito. Nos gustaría pedir que Alisal presente su plan de involucramiento de familias y sus planes a futuro, ya que con 17 millones de subvención de escuelas comunitarias que recibimos, hay una gran oportunidad de crecer en esa área, porque es uno de los 4 pilares que requiere activa participación de las familias, el involucramiento comunitario y padres como líderes compartiendo el poder. Queremos que Alisal se dé la oportunidad de crecer en esa área tan importante y que le den el valor a los padres como socios auténticos y que sean incluidos en sus procesos de decisiones, colaboración e inversión. Ustedes saben que a través de la Abogacía de Padres Unidos hemos logrado en los últimos años tener servicios para salud mental para todos los niños y las familias, y es desafortunado ver que ese contrato se ha cancelado. Queremos pedirles que lo reinstauren y que se dé a los estudiantes de educación general servicios a través del contrato con el Condado de Monterrey.
Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Koenig. My name is Alma Loredo. I'm the mother of 3 students that attended this district and organizer with Padres Unidos. I'm here representing Padres Unidos. Today, I want to express the need to have a parental involvement plan that would allow parents to be part of the decision-making process that are critical for the district. We would like to ask the LCAP to present this parental involvement plan and plans for the future, because with $17 million that grant that the community schools has, there's a great opportunity to grow in that area as one of those, the 4 pillars that require active participation of families and community involvement. We want LSL to have the opportunity to grow in that area that is so important, and to value the parents as authentic partners, and to be included in the decision-making process, collaboration, and investment. You know that through advocacy for Padres Unidos, we have been successful in a lot of stuff that you can turn into. Thank you.
Gabriela Silva.
Buenas tardes, miembro del Concilio y Superintendente Colin. Mi nombre es Gabriela Silva, soy miembro involucrado de esta comunidad con Padres Unidos, Mamás de Salinas Abogan, Very Beginning y la Red de la Defensa de la Primera Infancia con la Costa Central. Estamos abogando por los niños y la salud mental, incluyendo también la salud mental materna. Para nosotros es muy importante, estoy aquí para que concienticen sobre la anulación del contrato de salud mental del Condado de Monterrey, donde se verán afectados todos los estudiantes y familias. Ustedes aplicaron y recibieron la beca de estas escuelas comunitarias, donde uno de los pilares fundamentales de las escuelas comunitarias es servicios integrales. Proveer los servicios de salud mental caería bajo este criterio. Por esta razón, es muy preocupante que el contrato haya anulado. ¿Qué plan hay para adoptar las necesidades en el distrito alrededor de la salud mental y el estado socioemocional de los estudiantes? Si no están proveyendo estos servicios a todos los estudiantes, ya que este servicio sería fundamental para este pilar. Con este tipo de cortes, ¿qué tan efectivo es el plan de departamento, ya que basado en los datos de población y área del porcentaje es alto en inmigración y niños de bajos ingresos, cuidado temporal donde está habiendo un daño y no se está considerando este daño a largo plazo, afectando varias generaciones en responsabilidad del distrito? Les pido concientizar y considerar en darles este apoyo. Pedimos que recomponen el contrato de la salud mental del Condado de Monterrey, y no se están dando cuenta que estamos en el pico de salud mental y socioemocional que dejó la pandemia. Ustedes son el respaldo, soporte de todas las familias del distrito, no defrauden a todos estos niños que necesitan de su apoyo. Gracias.
Good afternoon. My name is Gabriela Silva, a member of this community with Padres Unidos VHC. We are here advocating for kids and mental health, including maternal mental health. I'm here to grow consciousness over the annulment of the contract with mental health with Monterey County that's going to affect families and students. You applied and received this grant, community schools. One of those pillars of the community schools is in whole services, to provide the services for mental health that would follow under this criteria. That's why it's very worrisome that the contract has been annulled. There needs to be a plan to advocate for the needs that the district in mental health and socio-emotional health for the students. If that's not being provided, these services to all the students, these services would be fundamental for that pillar. With these type of budget cuts, and I'm going to have to wrap it up, but usted le puede dar el comentario. Okay, thank you.
María Parra.
Buenas tardes, mesa directiva de Distrito Alizal, Superintendente Mr. Coney. Mi nombre es María Parra. Yo soy mamá por más de 20 años del Distrito Alizal. Formo parte de la iniciativa del Condado de Monterrey, Comienzos Brillantes, Violet Healthy Communities y la red de abogacía de la Costa Central. Mi comentario el día de hoy es para pedir a compromiso de traer para atrás el contrato de salud mental dentro de nuestro Distrito Alizal. Yo le voy a dar voz a una historia que es como un ejemplo de todos los niños que nos hacen ver la realidad aquí en el Distrito Alizal. Ella es Miriam Valle. Ella está aquí. Ella es una mamá de 4 niñas y un jovencito. 3 de estas niñas asisten a la escuela Jessy Sánchez. Esta es una familia que, como muchas, vienen de asilo político y arrastran traumas y necesidades sobre salud mental. Esta familia tiene que adaptarse a vivir en un solo cuarto de un apartamento. Son 7 en total que viven en una sola habitación. Esta situación en ocasiones orilla a los padres a caer en la violencia doméstica, cual pasa frecuentemente con ellos. Ellos viven en pobrezas, vienen arrastrando pobreza y violencia de sus países originales. De acuerdo a Miriam, muchas de sus niñas arrastran en muchas ocasiones tener que adaptarse a un sistema y a una educación que les hace muy difícil. Así que pido por favor responsablemente a nuestro superintendente y mesa directiva de nuestro distrito Alizal que regrese ese contrato de salud mental para todos nuestros niños de Alizal. Pedimos que hagan un plan con todos nuestros directores y departamentos para que lleven con eficaz ese recurso a todos los que lo necesitan. La salud mental es crítica para tener una vida saludable y una educación exitosa. Muchas gracias a todos. Confiamos en nuestros representantes y superintendente. Gracias.
Good afternoon, board members, superintendent. My name is Maria Parra. I'm been the mother of this district for more than 20 years. My comment today is to ask commitment to bring back the mental health contract to all the schools in the Alisal Union School District. I will give you an example, the history of Miriam Valle. She's here. She's a mom that has 4 children, 4 girls and a boy. These 3 of these girls attend Jessy Sanchez. This is a family like many who came seeking political asylum, and they are bringing traumas and a lot of needs for mental health. This family has to adapt itself, and they only have one apartment, one room. And there's 7 total that live in one room. This situation causes a lot of, sometimes brings domestic violence. They come from countries that are surviving a lot of violence and poverty. Miriam says that her girls are constantly reliving traumas and they're trying to survive every day. We'll wrap it up there.
Señora Horton.
Buenas tardes, mesa directiva del distrito de Alizar y superintendente Mr. Coney. Mi nombre es Norma Horton, tengo 20 años de experiencia trabajando en el campo de la educación y actualmente soy supervisora de la escuela Frampol. También formo parte de las mamás de Salinas Abogan en nuestra comunidad. Como educadora de la educación temprana, reconozco la importancia de la salud mental de nuestros niños y nuestros jóvenes, desde el contexto familiar, educativo y social. Desafortunadamente, nuestros niños y jóvenes están sufriendo después de la pandemia y gran porcentaje de ellos viven experiencias de traumas en su casa por violencia doméstica, maltrato infantil y la pobreza, que afecta el desarrollo cognitivo, del lenguaje y sobre todo emocional. Al cancelar y omitir los servicios de salud mental en el distrito de Alizal, se abre la brecha que impacta y afecta a la sociedad y la comunidad de nuestras familias. Al ver a nuestros jóvenes fracasar en el área educativa y negándole los derechos a ser exitosos y brillantes como son ustedes ahora. Así que en este momento hago un llamado a tomar acción para rescatar y traer nuevamente los servicios de salud mental, que incluye bienestar social, emocional y psicológico para nuestra próxima generación, Por lo tanto, respetuosamente, a todos ustedes, pido al superintendente también, Connie, y a la mesa directiva presentes aquí, que tomen conciencia y sobre todo que traigan los servicios de salud mental para todos nuestros estudiantes de nuestro distrito. Gracias a todos por su valioso tiempo.
Good afternoon. My name is Norma Horton. I have 20 years of experience in early education, and right now I work as a supervisor in Frank Paul. As an educator for early learning, I recognize the importance of mental health for our children and young people, starting in family context, but also educational and social. Unfortunately, after the pandemic, a great percentage of our students have been living very traumatic experiences in their homes, like such as domestic violence, childhood mistreatment, and poverty that affect their cognitive development, their language, social, and emotional. If you cancel and eliminate the services, mental health services, there's a gap that will be open and will affect the society, community, and our families to see that our young people will fail in the educational, emotional areas, denying them the rights and opportunities to be brilliant and successful like you are today.
Norma Villalobos.
Buenas tardes, miembros del Distrito Escolar Alizal. Mi nombre es Norma Villalobos, soy organizadora de padres en el Distrito Alizal y hoy me presento aquí junto a nuestro Comité de Padres Unidos y nuestros aliados. Esta tarde estoy aquí porque es importante crear conciencia sobre la anulación del contrato de salud mental del Condado de Monterrey, que afectará a nuestros estudiantes y sus familias. La decisión de anular el contrato se tomó sin informar a las familias de Alizal. Este tipo de decisiones se debería llevar a cabo en conversación con las familias, ya que los padres son un factor muy importante. Pedimos transparencia por parte del distrito en contacto a la cancelación de los contratos con programas que impactan a nuestras familias. Y ya que no se tomó en consideración la opinión de las familias, me pregunto qué procesos o medidas toman para determinar si un contrato continúa o no. Nosotros como padres pedimos que se reincorpore el contrato de salud mental del Condado de Monterrey. El bienestar de los estudiantes debe de ser el centro del por qué se toma la decisión. Y haber hecho esta decisión no se tomó en cuenta el impacto que tendrá. Con todo respeto, hay muchas preguntas que las familias no tienen respuestas y no las hemos recibido. Por eso pedimos que al superintendente Connie y al asistente del superintendente Mónica Anso puedan programar próximamente una reunión estilo Town Home donde ellos están presentes juntos, distritos, padres y comunidad. Podemos dialogar y desarrollar soluciones. Muchas gracias.
Good afternoon, board members. My name is Norma Villalobos. I'm an organizer, quadrant organizer in Alizal, and I'm here along with our Comité Padres Unidos and our allies. This afternoon, I'm here because it's important to create conscientization about the annulment of the contract with mental health contract with Monterey County that will affect a lot of students and their families. The decision to cancel the contract was taken without informing the Alizal families. These type of decisions should be taken in conversation with families because parents are a very important factor. We ask for transparency on the part of the district as far as cancellation of contracts with programs that impact our families. And since it was not taken into consideration the opinion of the families, I asked what process or measures were taken to determine if the contract will continue or not. We, our parents, asked that to reincorporate the contract mental health Thank you.
Alma Loredo. María Sánchez.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Sánchez, proveedora de cuidado infantil por 24 años en el condado de Monterrey. Sé que está poco tiempo, pero mucho de lo que se habló ya lo dijeron mis compañeras. Anular un contrato o quitar fondos para salud mental, yo me puse a pensar y estaba sentada en mi lugar. Qué ironías de la vida. Donatiu, quitar un contrato para estos niños, ¿qué va a hacer de ellos con su desarrollo emocional? ¿Qué va a hacer de ellos si aún en este momento no va a haber salud mental para ellos? Solamente quiero pedir e invocar que se traiga para atrás la salud mental, porque es qué ironía de la vida. Estamos viviendo ahorita un caso tan vivo, ustedes lo están mirando. Aquí están niños pidiendo, diciendo lo que a ellos les gusta, lo que ellos quieren, lo que a ellos les hace feliz. Ahí está la salud mental. Es todo. Muchas gracias.
Good afternoon. A lot of what was already said has been said, but I just wanted to talk that taking away a contract, I wanted you to reconsider taking it back, because look at all these Tonatiuh kids. They're asking for a program that helps with their mental health. You can see it living day to day. This is mental health for them. Thank you.
Carmen Esparza.
Good afternoon, board members and superintendent. I'm a proud mother at Frank Paul. I have 4 wonderful children. 3 of them assist Frank Paul, and all 3 of them have taken this wonderful opportunity of folklorico. I am in support of Tonatiuh, and it saddens me that my 4th child will not have that opportunity with this agency. I've heard this is a wonderful district and it's one of the best. Now it makes me wonder, what about the worst one? What can we expect? If there was any discrepancies, they should have been taken in a wise, timely manner to avoid these type of situations, both for our children and for the parents. We have created not only that bonding, they're not just instructors, they're not just dancers, they're more than that. We have created that bond with them. And first, thank you for this opportunity to be able to speak to you in regards to this. Thank God. Thank you, board members. And thank you, Senor Silva, Ramon. Thank you, dancers, teachers, for giving me this opportunity to meet you all. And thanks for your time.
Lorena Mendoza.
Good afternoon, Board of Trustees, Mr. Koenig, and Alisal District. I'm going to try to resume everything because everything pretty much has been said, and I'm very supportive of. As you could see with all the stories right here, this is a very essential time in regards to the social emotional. So we do need for you, and we urge you to please reconsider the contract in regards to behavioral health. We much needed, as we could see. Things like the after-school programs, which are great. I mean, you could tell the growth, and these kids are more confident than I am, so I'm so proud. And my kids also, you know, were part of Folklorico, and working together with this amazing group is just has been amazing. And so I'm all in support. Please reconsider the contract in regards to Tonatiuh's, and also regards to the unfortunate events in regards to the music program. The other instructors do not represent the unfortunate event. So saddens me. So also please, reconsider the kids do need to be reconnected to música. We much need it. It is the heart of LSA, both. And just wanted to let you know that throughout all these years, today I'm more motivated than ever. I did apply for the Board of Trustees, so I hope to be selected, but I'll continue my support here for the students. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Blanca Miranda.
Good afternoon, board members and families. Just for the time, I'm gonna address you in English. And my name is Blanca Miranda. I'm your president for DLEC and DAC. And being that District Accountability Committee, I'm here not to make you accountable, but I want to ask some questions. And I know you won't be able to answer. But first of all, good afternoon, families as well. I would like to ask anybody who is in this room who cares about children and about their safety, please stand if you are sitting. And if you are standing, please remain standing. Thank you so much. By saying this, I would like to ask, whenever anything is gonna happen that is gonna involve or affect our children, parents need to be involved. By making decisions on removing Tonatiuh, whatever the reasons are, if the contract, is it already a minute? No way, I usually stand up. Can you give me another minute? No. Okay, well, let me keep on going. Folklorico needs to remain with Tonatiuh. I'm not saying Oscar is not a good fit, but Tonatiuh has proved that they step up a lot. And with these teachers, I know some of these teachers since they were in elementary, and I say that they give their heart. It's not only about dancing, and we want Folklorico to stay, to remain. We would like to remain, to continue the contract with mental health, Monterey County Mental Health, and music. Unfortunately, I cannot speak about the legalities, you know better, but what about the children? These children have worked hard in the afternoons, even Saturdays, to play and rehearsal, and they won't have an opportunity to play in front of anybody. Like, what about that? What about mental health for that? What about Folklorico? This is their heart. This is what they belong to. And I get it, legal issues are legal issues, but what about our children? This is what I'm making you accountable for. What are we doing for them? And in English is accountability, and in Spanish is like, ¿qué onda? ¿Y ahora qué para ellos? So with this, I would like to say also for community schools. So in the board, on the agenda, I see that we are trying to bring some personnel for parent involvement. So, but where are the parents? None of us are involved in the community schools. I wasn't invited to the meeting that is gonna, or the training that is gonna happen next week for 2 days. I'm a parent. I've been begging the directors to invite me. I wasn't invited. To the last minute, I'm sorry, I still have to support my family. And what about the presentations, again, for the music children that have in Stanford? They live for this. Stanford to them is their final presentation, or their most their most wanting presentation. Let's don't kill that for them. Let's do something about it. I get it. The person who did something wrong is already in custody. What about the rest? Our children deserve it. And I have a lot more going on, but I know I like to be respectful as well. Thank you so much for the time. Thank you, families, for being here. Thank you for your support.
We'd like to thank the community for taking the time to come and share your concerns with us. And thank you for that. Are there any more public comments? Okay, we will then close the public comment at 6:30 p.m.
At this point, President Ocampo, at this point, I would like to request that Associate Superintendent Monica Anso read again a statement. I'm afraid that when Ms. Anso read the spotlight, we were having issues with our interpretation services. And so I'm afraid that the community was not able to listen to the statement she read during spotlight. So if she could please read that again so the community can be informed of what she said, be very appreciative. Thank you.
Clarification, that, and I agree with you, but that comes from a directive of the superintendent, not the public information officer.
Sure, and I had requested.
Okay,
Mr.
then
Co-
he
yeah,
needs to
okay.
tell the public that.
Okay, sorry about that.
Thank you, thank you.
At this time, I recommend that Monica Anzo repeat the spotlight that she presented earlier in the agenda.
Okay. So, good afternoon again. For school year 2024-25, the number of behavioral health therapists providing counseling to LSL students will increase by 45%. Thanks to the bipartisan Safer Communities grant that the district obtained for additional behavioral health therapists, the district will expand effective school solutions, called ESS, behavioral health therapists from 6 to 12, one per school. The district will continue to utilize Monterey County behavioral health therapists for students in special day classes under its participation in the Monterey County CELPA MOU with MCBH at a cost of $370,000. The number of clinicians provided by MCBH for special education will increase by half in FTE. However, all clinician services to general education students will be provided by ESS. Overall, the number of clinicians available to the district students will increase by 4.5 FTE. This is great news for our students and our school sites.
Very good. Thank you for that, Señorita Anso. We will then move on to association comments. Any comments from the LSL Teachers Association? Oh, very good. Okay, thank you. And next is the California School Employees Association.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent. Solange K. Quinoy, chapter president. First of all, I would like to share that today CSEA chapter 577 and Alisal district reached an agreement. Thank you. Another thing is on the agenda tonight, there is a layoff resolution to lay off a vacant classified position under the especially funded 6-day notice provision of Ed Code. CSEA in its chapter 577 has not received a notice of layoff. If the board approved the resolution, the district is in fact providing less than 30 days notice if the position will be laid off as of June 30, 2024. And also, I believe there is a LCAP presentation tonight. There is under goal 3, excuse me, there is a district translator interpreter, and that's new actions. And I'm telling the board for many times that CSEA in the district had approved the board approved the position, and I think it was back in February 2022, and that position was never posted. And also for LCAP, I would like to, I spoke with Ms. Anso, but I would like to request that the district put money for trainings for classified, because there is a lot money for certificate, but the classified staff is not willing receiving trainings with the social emotional. And I think it's very, in order for the district to move forward, The classified staff also needs to receive training. Thank you.
Very good. We now move on to the United Substitute Teachers Union. Next part of the agenda is our presentations. We have a presentation, school years 24-25 through 27-28 Local Control Accountability Plan. Monica Anso, Associate Superintendent of Educational Services.
Good afternoon, Vice President Ocampo, Superintendent Koenig, board members and community. Again, I'm Monica Anso. I am here to present our local control accountability plan alongside Ms. Maria Alvarez, who is our Director for Educational Equity, and she leads the process with our partners in ensuring that we get voice and comments into what is needed in our community. Okay, thank you. Okay, so just a quick review on the purpose of the LCAP. The LCAP is a tool, so LEAs can set goals, can plan actions, and then leverage the resources to meet those goals and to improve student outcomes. So in addition to getting the input from our community, we also have to consider the 8 state priorities when we're developing the goals and the specific actions that will help meet these goals as measurable student outcomes. So this 8 statewide priorities are basic services, implementation of state standards, parental involvement, pupil achievement, pupil engagement, school climate, course access, and then other pupil outcomes. Some of the requirements to increase or improve services: the local control funding requires an LEA to provide evidence in its LCAP to demonstrate how the LEA plans to increase or improve services for students who are low income, English learners, or foster youth, which is oral and duplicated students, as compared to the services provided to all pupils. So again, some of the requirements is to engage educational partners in the development of the LCAP. So that means we engage our parents, our community, our unions, our certificated classified, our administrators, and later on today, you'll see a public hearing item because we get to hear some if there are other comments. And then also tonight's presentation is to engage the trustees in some of the feedback. To set district goals and targets and establish effective actions and sufficient expenditures to support stated goals and expected outcomes. So these are the newer requirements this year for our next cycle of 3 years. These are based on our California dashboard. So the dashboard, as we've brought in other meetings, the dashboard is the outcome that we have for our plan. So we need to have actions. If we have 30 or more English learners, we need to include an action in the LCAP, which is connected to resources. If we have 15 or more long-term English learners, those are students that have been reclassified after 5 years, we have to include an action. If we're in technical assistance and This year, we're not in technical assistance. Last year, we were in technical assistance and we were getting support from the Monterey County Office of Education due to chronic absenteeism. But that decreased, so we're not in technical assistance. If we have a school within the district with at least one red indicator on the dashboard, if we have a student group within the district with at least one red indicator on the dashboard, and then if we have student groups within any school in the district with at least one red indicator. So those are all new actions that we have to include in our LCAP. So in addition to all the input that we get from our community, the state says these are requirements that you need to have in your plan. So just a quick rundown, we did bring you the California dashboard presentation of your meetings back. So we, as a district, do not have any, for this year's dashboard, any red indicators. And as we look deeper, you will notice that the red indicators are now among our schools and our student groups. So we do have red indicators at the school level, and at the student group level that we have to include actions for.
So good evening. To continue, a big part of the LCAP is engaging our educational partners. And as you can see, we had 1,771 student surveys. We had 2,239 parent surveys, and I'm very proud of that number. This year, I want to give kudos to our school principals for really helping lead that parent engagement, and we doubled our number this year on those surveys. It was really enlightening when we started looking at the data. We used AI to disaggregate all the information and get the themes. So thank you to all the parents also who took part in taking the survey. We had 329 parent participants at the sites. We had 330 certificated staff participated in meetings. We had 299 certificated staff surveys. We had 135 classified staff surveys, and 41 DLAC DAC members provided LCAP input. So thank you to everyone. The development of the LCAP is part of our community. We look at the results, the local assessment data that Mrs. Anso just mentioned. We have feedback and evaluation from staff, the needs and recommendations from our DLAC, DAC, school site councils, and ELAC. We have school site meetings, surveys, our AFRC also support, and our community forums. So at this point, I'd like to review our 5 district goals. One of the, there are copies in the back of our draft LCAP. I do want to mention that when pooling and reviewing our budget for this year, we still have May and June that is not part of that LCAP. So when I bring back the LCAP in at the end of this month, it will be more reflective of all the expenses that we've had. So I think I pulled it May 11th. So those are the data for that. So our goals for 2024-27 are: 1, academic program for all students. LSL will implement a structured professional learning community, PLC model, to provide all students a rigorous academic program. This program will be aligned to the state standards and best practices based on the multi-tiered system of support, with a focus on Tier 1 academic instruction to eliminate inequities that limit student success. There is a cheat sheet that I left in front of you all. As you can see that there are 17 actions in goal number 1. Goal number 2 is success for English learner students. LSL will provide intentional tiered supports to English learners to ensure they develop high levels of language in their program of instruction to succeed across all content areas. And as you can see on the cheat sheet, we have 4 actions for that. Goal number 3, social emotional learning, behavioral supports, and family engagement. LSL will cultivate an environment through a comprehensive system of support that promotes social, emotional, behavioral, and physical wellness and advances student learning. And goal number 3, there are 17 actions. Goal number 4, active engagement, relationship building, capacity building. LSL will build and sustain a culture of learning, refine systems that guarantee access to high quality teaching and learning, facilitate adult learning focused on continuous improvement towards educational equity and social justice. And this year, we have added a new goal. It's early learning literacy focus. LSL students will develop foundational literacy skills necessary to read at grade level by the end of 3rd grade as aligned to the California Comprehensive State Literacy Plan. And in that goal, we have 4 actions. So as you can see, our allocation for the 24-25, we have $34,193,096. And as you can see, last year we had $35,489,340. So the difference this year that we are receiving less money is $1,296,245. So with that, we had to do some cutbacks on some of the actions, and so you'll see it reflected on the next few slides. I'd like to highlight some of our key actions in Goal 1. We have our grade level collaboration, which is going to consist of 38 PLT subs to support for professional learning communities. We have professional development. We have instructional site coaches. We have 12 at each site, and we have 2 special education teachers on special assignment that focus on instruction, math, professional development. This year, we are transitioning to iReady. We fund science camp for all our 5th grade, and we also have bilingual stipends. As you can see, they're on the slide, actions that Ms. Anso talked about that we are this year required. Anything that we are in red, we need to call out, and so that's what those are for. And then the hot pink are new actions. In action 2, successive English learner students. We have English learner instructional specialists. We have currently 5. We're hoping to have 1 more. We have focus on English language development PD and support for our bilingual programs. And we also are going to have 2 newcomer programs this year. We're going to have a 3rd, 4th grade and a 5, 6, and this year it will be at Virginia Rocca Barton. And we do have 2 teachers for that already. Goal number 3, social emotional learning, behavioral supports, and family engagement. We have 12 full-time counselors. We have 3 family resource centers. We have psychologists at every site. We have social workers. This year we are adding 1. We're gonna have 4 full-time. We have 12 school assistant principals. And we do, what was added is district translator interpreter. We've, as parents need translation, it's a very important action to make sure that they are able to understand when they go to meetings and other events that there's somebody there to support them. Action 4, active engagement, relationship building, capacity building. New teacher support we have a teacher that is on special assignment to help support our new teachers. We have building capacity for site and district leaders. We also have additional professional development days. We have 5 that are in our contract, and our tech support. And our last goal, early learning literacy focus. We have a preschool support program where we have up to 56. They're para educators for our all-day TK and kinder. We have our early learning professional development, early learning program support director, teacher on, and we have 2 teachers on special assignment, and we have our ed services reading support. And so that's 12 reading specialists, yes. So this is just an outline of all our goals and how much funding are in each of those goals. So, and that adds all up to what we are allotted by the state this year, $34,193,096. Exciting news is that we are going to be getting some extra funding that is called equity multiplier funding. According to the CDE for 2024, the local control funding formula, equity multiplier provides additional funding to LSAL for allocations to school site meetings, non-stability and social economically disadvantaged pupil thresholds in the prior years as shown on the CDE's stability rate data report. So the school that qualified for this extra funding was LSAL Virtual Academy. They were at 39.7% in the non-stability rate, and the social economically disadvantaged pupil rate was at 75.9, which the formula gives them $61,051 to support those students that need that extra support in the virtual academy. So we are open to any questions that you may have.
Questions from the board? Yes, Senora Gilbas.
Yes, thank you for that thorough presentation. I know our parents, along with principals, work on giving information for the LCAP. And after speaking to a couple of principals, they did commend you, Ms. Alvarez, for supporting the process and the meetings with the parents and the surveys and just your support for them, for our principals. So thank you for that. I had about 9 questions, but I know we've had a long meeting. I'll meet with Mrs. Anzo, Mr. Koenig, to get the answers to those questions. So I'm just going to ask one. Well, and I'm going to make a statement. We have bigger goals, yet we have less money, like $1,300,000 less funds to accomplish those goals. So we have a hard job ahead of ourselves when it comes to increasing student achievement, because that goes hand in hand with the budget. So thank you. I looked at some of the numbers on there and I will continue. It was a lot of information. Thank you. But the only question I'm going to ask is about the equity multiplier funding, and only AVA is the school that qualifies to receive these funds. Now, these funds will be spent for AVA students for the next school year? Okay, so how many students do we think we may have in AVA next year? How many do we have now? 31. So let's say we had 31 next year. The way I'm understanding this is we will have $61,051 to spend on those 31 students, right?
So if I have copies of the AVA SIPSA, and within the SIPSA, we have to include it, but also in the LCAP, you can also find what those funds are going to be spent on. It's called out in, it's like a goal 6. And so you could, one of the areas that Mr. Frenzel is really trying to promote is attendance, because even though they are virtual, it's very sometimes difficult for students to be attending. And so what he's trying to do is build incentives around for those students. And you can read more in detail what that includes. I also wanted to mention is that I know that we are getting less funding in the LCAP, but we do have other funds in different areas. So we're able to access some funds to support other initiatives that we might have to want to continue.
And I'm a strong supporter of AVA. And my question has nothing to do with AVA or AVA students per se. Yet 30 students, $61,000 allocated to them. For students who are not in the virtual academy, do they get a percentage? It's zero. Okay, so only because they meet the qualifications.
They met the
Okay,
qualifications.
now if there was another school that met the qualifications, what would that mean? Would that school also get $61,000 or would it be divvied up between them?
Yeah, it's based on their enrollment and
Uh-huh.
there's a formula.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, we don't want schools to be in that
Right.
predicament because, I mean, that's just showing that, yeah, they're not stable. And so I think it's a positive that we don't have other 12 schools.
And
that-
that's great. I'm just thinking of our students that are not in AVA, you know, and it's good that they don't qualify. But my question is, in the event that another school qualified for multiplier fundings, would the amount, based on the enrollment, then it would be a lot more than $61,000.
That is correct.
That's what I wanted to
Yes.
know. Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
And so I'm just concerned is what does that tell us about AVA? But I think that's a conversation for another meeting and how they're doing and so forth. So I appreciate the presentation. Like I said, I had many more questions, but we have a long meeting ahead of us and I'll just stop there. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, I just had a comment. I just want to say that I'm glad to see that the early learning, no, I'm sorry, the newcomer program, that it's actually growing. Because I know that there was a time when the program was in some amount of trouble, I guess, in terms of outcomes. I guess the outcomes are not what we were wanting. And I know that the district took it upon itself to correct that. I'm assuming that was corrected. And it's good to see that the program is growing because we do need to welcome our newcomers, you know, as we get brand new people coming into this country for the first time. I think it's wonderful to have a program like the newcomer programs where they can be kind of, you know, welcomed and they can be worked with and they can be introduced to this American system that we have here. So I'm just happy to see that the newcomer, that we apparently fixed whatever the problem was and that the program is growing and that it's multiplying. So that is reassuring. So I want to thank both of you then for your presentation today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we then will be moving on to a presentation, school year 24-25 budget, Elaine Mendoza, Director of Physical Services.
Hi, good evening. I'm Elaine Mendoza, Director of Fiscal Services, and I will be presenting the preliminary budget report for 2024-25. We will begin by looking at, sorry. So according to EDCO section 42-127, it states that on or before July 1st of each year, the governing board of each school district shall accomplish the following: hold a public hearing on the budget to be adopted, adopt the budget, and file the budget with the county superintendent of schools. We will begin by looking at a comparison at each of the reporting periods for 2024, 2023-24. This slide shows the balances for general fund, combined of the unrestricted and restricted funds. The last column shows the estimated actuals for 2023-24. We are estimating our beginning fund balance to be at 103.8 million and our ending fund balance at 85.5 million. To break down the funds a little more, the general fund is made up of unrestricted and restricted funds. This slide shows the balances to break down the two categories. The unrestricted ending fund balance is at 49.6 million and restricted ending fund balance is at 35.9 million. When building the budget, some assumptions are taken into consideration for our projections. For the local control funding formula sources, enrollment is at 7,190. The average daily attendance is at 6,801. The cost of living adjustment is at 1.07%, and the unduplicated count of students eligible for supplemental grants is 95.49%. Federal revenues remain flat. For state revenues, the lottery fund is projected at $249 per student, which equals to 1.7 million. The COLA for special education programs is at 1.07%, and mandated programs is 0.25 million. For local revenues, the local donations are included based on historical trends. We also make expenditure assumptions. For STIRS contributions, it remains the same for next year at 19.10%. For PERS, there is an increase of 0.37%, so it gives us 27.05% contribution. Special education budget deficit is 15.9 million, and the supplemental and concentration grant is estimated at 34.2 million. Here we have a comparison of the projections of our estimated actuals for 2023-24 and our preliminary budget for 2024-25. We are projecting our preliminary budget beginning fund balance at 85.5 million and our ending fund balance at 47.4 million. To break down the budget a little bit more, we have the balances between the unrestricted and restricted funds. The unrestricted ending fund balance is at 47 million, and our restricted is at 0.4 million. When looking at the budget, we also make multi-year projections for 2025-26 and 2026-27. Some assumptions that we make are enrollment. It's projected at 7,097 and 6,872. The ADA is projected at 6,713 and 6,500. And the unduplicated count of eligible students is at 94.59%. And again, the federal revenues remain flat. For state revenues, the LCFF COLA is projected at 2.73% for 2025-26, and then 3.11% for 2026-27. There are no projections for now for any new one-time discretionary funds, and there are no changes to class size ratios. So here we have a breakdown of balances for comparison. So we have the estimated actuals for 2023-24, preliminary budget for 2024-25, and 2 subsequent years. So we use the assumptions for revenues and expenditures from the previous slides for the projections. We have other funds. So this slide shows all the balances for each of them. However, Fund 25 and Fund 20 or 35 and 21 are our 2 major funds for construction projects. Some other budget considerations are enrollment is projected to continue to decline. Negotiations at the time of when this presentation was created, the bargaining units negotiations with CSEA bargaining unit was still ongoing, but as of today, we came to an agreement, and negotiations with ATA has settled and is in tonight's agenda for approval. The budget is developed based on information that we have at the time, so the May revise is not the final budget, and the numbers may change. For next steps, we have the adoption of the 24-25 budget and LCAP on June 26th. The state budget adoption is on June 30th, and the 45-day budget revision is in July through August. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the board? Yes, Señora Gilpas.
Yes, thank you. That's a lot of information. Thank you. I have one general question. It seems like there's certain areas that we are deficit spending, correct, Mr. Koenig?
Yes, there are.
So in terms of being transparent with the public, I'm gonna kind of shift it to ask a question. What is the Alisal Union School District's reserve in percentage and in money? More or less,
It's more or less about 20% right now.
20%. Is that a high reserve?
That's actually below the statewide average for elementary school districts. But I could address the deficit spending.
Okay, so before you do that, because I know that with budgets, you can't take from this pocket to put it in this pocket. I mean, it's, as far as restricted, you know, and the budget, you have to spend certain monies on, in certain areas. Is there any area that our reserve would be able to help us with some of these deficit spendings, or is that a no-no?
I'll turn that over to Mr. Abbasi.
Well, because what I would, and you understand budgets more than I do, but our reserve keeps going up. I think most districts have like 3%, 6, 7, we have 20. What's our goal to go up to? We're gonna have 50% reserve, and yet we're doing deficit spending. So the question is, can using some of our reserve, doing it carefully as the experts do budgets, can some of the reserve be used to help us out with some of this deficit spending? Because if we continue with deficit spending, I can see the district going broke. Is that true or no?
That is true. So let me define what deficit spending is to
Okay,
begin with.
thank you.
The deficit is the difference between revenues we receive, and I'm talking about only unrestricted general fund. I'm not including categorical programs because categorical programs by definition are self-supporting, other than special education, which may have some contribution. So the difference between revenue and expenditures. Our expenditures are hard expenditures. They are, most of them are fixed in place. When our revenue is flat or declining, and is flat or declining because of two major reasons. Number one, we have declining enrollment. Number two, we have a very low COLA or cost of living adjustment for next year and the next 2 years actually. Those two factors are factoring in defining our reduction in revenues. And that is going to continue in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Our expenditures should follow the routine of declining because as our class sizes go down, because we have declining enrollment, yes, we are going to have reduction in expenditures as well, but not as much as declining revenues. So we are going to see deficit spending for quite some time in the next 3, 4, 5 years. Another factor contributing to deficit spending is we just reached settlement with our friends, with our bargaining groups, and they received a very well-deserved increase in salaries. But that money is coming from our fund balance because our current revenue cannot support that increase. Although the state says that we are going to get 8.22% COLA in the current year, that's not our reality. We have deficit spending because declining enrollment is giving us less than 8.22% COLA. I can give you some dollars. For example, we are going to get additional $3.7 million in LCFF. That comes from cost of living adjustment. But the cost of increase in salaries is $6.some million. So the remaining $3 million comes from our fund balance, and that's our deficit spending. That's the reason for deficit spending. But we are very prudent in making every expenditure, every dollar that we spend. We are very prudent, we are very mindful. The County Office of Education, they monitor our expenditures very closely, especially when we file AB 1200. That's a document that we prepare when we reach agreement with our bargaining groups. They look at 2 or 3 different factors. Number one, how much is our ongoing revenue? How much is our fund balance in the current year and the next 2 years? We are able to maintain more than 10% reserve, even with our agreement with our bargaining units. So that's our defining moment right now that we are, as of right now, we have more than 10% required reserve that we need. To summarize, our deficit spending will continue in unrestricted general fund, but we are still able to maintain enough fund balance to be solvent.
Thank you, Mr. Bassi, because I know budgets are very difficult to understand. I have a hard time understanding. That's why I'm asking this question. Now, do we, as you could see tonight, we have a group of very involved parents, right? Do we ever have like a workshop on the budget and use terminology and numbers and so forth that maybe board members, I'm a civilian myself, and parents could understand, and maybe they do already understand it, but I'm thinking that a workshop for parents on the budget every now and then might help, especially when we know that we're not going to have the same funds that we're going to have next, that we had this year, next year. We're going to be already what? We're going to have less, especially with the enrollment. So I think as long as we communicate that with our community, and I know this is a way to also do it with this presentation, but like I said, it's difficult sometimes for me to understand. I would like to go to a workshop that's maybe designed for the community or for our parents, so we can learn a little bit more about the budget, be understanding when budget cuts come up the pike. I think that would help the whole LSL community. Do we have those or?
Absolutely. So Trustee Gilpas, last year we had a budget workshop. We had a special board meeting for budget workshop. And that was the whole goal of that workshop, to explain terminology and the current status of our budget.
Okay, so we have the board meetings where we have those presentations. But I'm talking about for parents and community, where they could also ask questions. They can't ask them here because it's what happens here. The reason we can't answer, especially when you speak, because it's our board meeting. It's not a public meeting where we can dialogue. It's just a board meeting. So the parents can't, they might be sitting there asking maybe a question that's a great question, and nobody's going to ask it here because maybe we don't think about it. So I'm just hoping that we can provide, Mr. Koenig, maybe more than one has. I'm sorry. And thank you for that. But usually we don't applaud because I'm gonna get up here and start dancing or something. But I'm just thinking of that because we do have a community who's very curious. So as far as the budget, I would like to see more than just presentations to the board to inform our community of what the budget is, what it's going to look like, and then working collaboratively when things have to be cut, that they won't throw tomatoes at us. That's what I.
Definitely, we can arrange some budget workshops.
Thank you.
As well.
Thank you, Mr. Koenig. Thank you, Mr. Abbasi, and thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, thank you, Lupi, for that great recommendation, Senora Gilpas. I had a question about the apparently we have $3 million for capital facilities. Is that involve the construction of new buildings? Is that what that refers to? Capital facilities?
No, the capital expenditures in a general fund are not for facilities. For facilities, we have separate funds. These capital facilities can be for the purchase of vehicles, for the payment of some of the previous, we call it COPs, Certificate of Participation, and that was for the construction of solar panels that we have at about 10 school sites. So we had a loan, and we were making payment of that loan, and that's considered capital expenditure.
Have those funds already been earmarked for specific projects?
Yes, they have been earmarked, yes.
They are, okay. And I'm also curious, what school facilities, does that refer to maintenance, or 25.2 million for school facilities? What is that?
School facilities, Fund 35 is a fund where we spend money and take in money that's spent on improvements to facilities. That's where we account for the funding that we receive from the state under the state facilities program.
I think at at our central kitchen, I believe we put in a new door, if I remember correctly. Were the school facilities funds used for that? Or is that
No,
the type of
actually, that
program?
was paid for out of the cafeteria fund. It was an improvement to the site, the kitchen site facility.
Do we have any funds for the building of future facilities or future, buildings?
So this Fund 35 that Mr. Koenig just mentioned, some of this money is going to be spent to construct the warehouse that we're planning next to our district office building, and also DO Annex. This money is also going to be used for the construction of Black Box or the Performing Arts Center.
Okay.
But as far as School 13 is concerned, that's going to be in the CASP area. We have not set aside any funds from our current budgets, except for $2 million that we are going to use for different planning expenditures. But the major, which is going to be like a $35 to $40 million expenditure for the construction of School 13, that is not earmarked from these funds.
Right, yeah, this would be for smaller buildings, I guess, or.
Yes, like the warehouse, the district office annex, the Performing Arts Center. Those are the current
'Cause
expenditures.
I know at some point, there was some discussion of moving our maintenance department, finding another area for it because it's too crowded there and the parking is too crowded. Are there any plans for that, or is that are we just talking about that possibility, or?
We're moving forward with negotiations to purchase the property that we discussed with the board several months ago, and we'll see where those go.
That's the property adjacent to Alasa High School, is that what we're talking about? Or?
No, the property is, it's actually part of the Matsui Nursery property on Williams Road. So if you go by Alisal High School, it's about another mile down, right after you pass Baranda Road on the left.
So that remains a possibility, hopefully.
Yes, some of this money can be used to plan for that and buy the property.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you then. Thank you. We will then move on to board member superintendent reports. Are there any reports by board members today? Señora Gilbas?
Yes, thank you. Just briefly, I was able to attend the awesome promotion of the sixth graders at Jesse Sanchez School. It was very well attended, awesome organization. I know all of us, because of our schedules, could not be with Mr. Koenig, who's accompanied by our PIO for support, and she's the one that gets all the balloons and the certificates. So thank you to Ms. Melendez for that. But we didn't get to go to all the Luminaria awards, but congratulations to all of those who did receive these. Also, again, the Art and Poetry Award winners. I think Ms. Melendez also takes a big part in that, and I wanted to thank and give her kudos for that. And also congratulations to Fremont and BRB soccer champions. And then we're at the end of the school year, so happy summer to all of those who are going to rest, and happy work, if there's such a thing, for those who are going to work during the summer. Thank you very much.
Okay, any other reports? Yeah, Mr. Koenig, do you have a report?
I just wanted to report that as of today, the number of signups for summer school, which begins in just a couple of days, is 1,373. So this is a record for any intercession as far as signups go. Some of these kids are not going to show up, but we should have a record intercession here beginning in a couple of days.
Okay, thank you for those interesting and uplifting reports. We will now move on to the approval of the consent agenda. So I will entertain a motion at this point to
make a motion.
Motion made by Mr. Jimenez and seconded by La Señora Gilbas Any comments, any questions? Yes, Señora Gilpas?
I'm sorry, but
No,
yeah,
it's fine, it's fine.
I do. I just have one. It's more of a comment, I believe. It's not a question or anything like that, but it is on the school plans, item 5E. And thank you to Mr. Koenig for going over the agenda with any board member that wants to go over the agenda. And I should have brought it up then, but I didn't, so I apologize for that. However, I'm not sure the consent agenda is where the school plans should be brought up here, because it's up for approval, correct? Tonight.
That's correct.
Right, and so each school plan, because there's 13 schools, 12, and then Ava's a school, 13 schools, the school plans are about 50 pages long. That's 650 pages. I don't know if I'll get in trouble if I say I don't read 650 pages, but it's not likely that anybody does. We used to have a summary page. I know there's a lot of information there, but I think maybe having it in a nutshell, because it has so much great information. I know a lot of, but it doesn't, reading over the school plan does not allow me as a board member to see what is the school doing different to reach the goals, or if the goals are new, do I have to go look at the last school plan to see that? You know, I'm almost thinking that it'd be nice to have a study session, maybe even 2 in a year, where maybe we discuss 2 or 3 of the school plans, because those documents are so important. It's like the blueprint of what the school is gonna do for the next school year. And yet it's in the consent agenda, we approve it, and we're done. And it just has too much meat in there, too much information. So I'm going to suggest, and hopefully my colleagues here will agree, that we may need some study sessions or a little bit more time and energy to put into the school plans, besides just putting them in the consent agenda and approving it. So that was my comment, and that's my only, I have a whole bunch, but I'm gonna, that's the main one. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? No? Okay, very good. So at this point, if Mr. Koenig, if we could do a line vote, please.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira,
All right, thank you for that. We will then move on to number 6, which is business services. So we have a public hearing, 24-25 fiscal school year budget. We will open this up at 7:23 p.m. And we will close it up at 7:23 p.m. We move on to educational services. We have another public hearing, 24-25 local control and accountability plan LCAP. We will open at 7:23 p.m. And I believe we have one comment on the LCAP. Alma Loredo.
Buenas tardes nuevamente, miembros de la mesa directiva, Alma Loredo, Superintendente CONIC. Buenas tardes. Estoy aquí como organizador de Comité Padres Unidos, representando al Comité de Padres, si gustan ponerse de pie. Mi comentario público es con respecto al plan de LCAP, y realmente quiero agradecer a la señora Álvarez el excelente trabajo que ha puesto en este proceso. Fue muy bueno que se hicieron reuniones específicamente para el CAP, y no solo una, pero más de una. Entonces queremos realmente agradecer el esfuerzo y ver la colaboración interna. Es magnífico. Y la administración está colaborando internamente, eso es grandioso. Entonces sí queremos animarlos a que lo sigan haciendo, y realmente estamos contentos de verlo. La comunidad y los padres están pidiendo la inversión para que haya más maestros bilingües y más clases de educación bilingüe para los estudiantes. La comunidad también quiere ver enfermeras en las escuelas que puedan trabajar con estudiantes en general, no solo aquellos del plan 504, al menos durante algunas horas. Intercesiones de verano durante primavera, verano, invierno para estudiantes que estén a punto de reclasificar para aumentar la reclasificación en esta área y especialistas de padres que sean parte de las escuelas que les pertenece. Así pueden incrementar esa pertenencia para los padres y que exista un recurso en cada escuela que ayude a que los padres puedan navegar sus necesidades. En nombre de los padres y la comunidad les pedimos que se aseguren que las necesidades de la comunidad se vean reflejadas en el presupuesto del año escolar. Y hablando de la meta 3, específicamente el punto 3.4, queremos que se aseguren que se van a dar servicios de salud mental a todos los estudiantes, no solamente a los de educación especial, pero a todos. Queremos consejeros que tengan licencia para dar terapias si es necesario abordar algunas situaciones de trauma con los estudiantes. Y realmente confiamos que ustedes están asegurando que esto va a ser algo que se va a lograr. Y en nombre de los padres y la comunidad les agradecemos con mucho respeto.
Good afternoon, board members, Superintendent Koenig. My name is Alma Loredo. I'm the mother of 3 students who attended this district and an organizer with Comité Padres Unidos. This afternoon, I'm here representing Padres Unidos. I want to comment respecting LCAP plan, and I want to thank Mrs. Alvarez for the great work that she has done in this process. It was really good to see that there were exclusive reunions for LCAP at all the LSL schools. It was good to see the internal collaboration of the administration. We want to encourage you to continue doing this. Community and parents are asking investment in more bilingual teachers and more bilingual classes for students. We want to see nurses in the school so they can work with students in general, not just the ones that have a 504 EP plan and just for a few hours. In summer intersessions, spring and winter intersessions for students that are about to reclassify, to increase reclassification of students. We want parent specialists to be part of the schools so they can increase belonging for parents, and we want to see more resources in schools to help parents navigate their needs. On behalf of parents and community, we ask you that you make sure that the needs of the community are reflected in the budget this year. We trust that you will continue to ensure that this will be something that will be able to be achieved on behalf of Padres Unidos and the community with respect. Thank you.
I'm sorry, what was that? Yes, of course, it's a public hearing, yes.
I'm also confused if I'm supposed to do I'm always confused if I'm supposed to do 2 little green papers. Okay, so I would like to welcome Ms. Loredo, and I would like to ask for more bilingual education classes. And I would like to ask for those teachers with bilingual education not to have that many students. Those classes are big, they are above 30 students, and they have double the work trying to make, and I get it, maybe something was the union, and we need to talk to the union, we will talk to the union. But I mean, we are shorthanding our students who are bilingual, biliterate, with that kind of education. We are giving less to them. I would like, this is my 7th year asking for this, and I think it's time. Our children deserve it. Let's be the district of choice. I've seen some parents coming to our district trying to do the intra-district application, wanting to come to us because of our dual immersion education. Thank you so much for bringing teachers from Mexico. That will open an opportunity to possibly have more bilingual education for our students, where we can have thinking outside the box and possibly having a teacher that only speaks English and a teacher who only speaks Spanish teaching the same class. Like maybe they can transfer, you know better, but they can transfer from one classroom to another and be a dual immersion class. I stress the importance that that's going to bring us and help us to do better as a district, since some schools really are in the red mark. So I would like to ask for that. Bilingual is our heart as well. Our culture speaks in both languages. And I hear from one teacher, like, my heart beats in Spanish, and my heart beats in English as well. In English, yeah. And then I would like to ask that. Also, I would like to ask, what's happening? Why our teachers are leaving us? A lot of our teachers are leaving us, and some schools are lacking teachers where they have to share students from two different classrooms or for two different grades because of the lack of teachers. What can we do? What can we do as parents to help you, like motivate teachers to come to us? Our students deserve it, again. And when I see the budget, like Ms. Gilpa said, I don't understand much, but I would like to see the revenue to be students excelling in every single material, in a way, in English and in math, not only having numbers, but for them to be doing above and beyond any students in the whole nation. Even if the nation level is low, let's show them what Alisal Fuerte means. That's what I want to ask. How can we motivate more teachers to come to us? Thank you so much.
Okay, very good. We will close the public meeting at 7:31 p.m. then. We will then move on to human resources. This is an action item, resolution number 2324-32, reduction of classified school services for the 24-25 school year. We'll entertain a motion for that.
So moved.
Motion made by
Second.
Señora Gilpa, seconded by Mr. Jimenez. Any comments or questions? Mr. Koenig, can we do a line vote, please?
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira,
Yes.
Very good. Passes 3-0. We move on to action item, request for new position, Secretary 2, Educational Services Division. I will entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Señora Gilpa, second by Señor Jimenez. Comments, questions? Can we do a line vote, please?
Board President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
The motion passes 3-0.
Action item C, request for new position, Migrant Family Service Advocate, 1 full-time equivalent. I will entertain a motion. Motion made by Mr. Jimenez,
Second.
seconded by Ms. Gilpas. Comments, questions? Take a line vote. Yes.
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 Okay, very good. Action item D, revised job description, Director of Educational Technology to Director of Innovative Design and Learning. I will entertain a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Made by Mr. Jimenez, second by La Señora Gilpas. Comments, questions? Line vote, please.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
The motion passes 3-0.
E, revised job description, Director of Alisal Family Resource Centers to Director of Family and Community Engagement. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Okay. Motion made by Mr. Jimenez.
Second.
Second by Señora Gilpas. Comments, questions? We'll take a line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
The motion passes 3-0.
Item F, revised job description, Community School Site Coordinator. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
So moved by
Second.
Señora Gil, second by Mr. Jimenez. Comments, questions? Yes.
Yes, so, item E and F, so we're talking about, the director of LSL Community Resource Center, so we're changing the name, correct? And so updating a little bit their job description to work with the grant of the community schools? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So on item F, revised job description, community site coordinator. So that is the person that we already have. It's, can't recall the name. I think standing back there. Yeah.
Julio?
Yeah. So it's a revised job description. So is he going to supervise the others?
No, what's going to
Okay.
happen is the current position will go away. There'll be a layoff later, and there will be a community school site coordinator at each one of the 12 schools.
Okay, so I was reading, and I hope I'm not confused here, I apologize, but, so this community school site coordinator will also be in charge of parent involvement or work with parent involvement?
This coordinator will work with parents at the school site, to which there'll be 12 of them. Each one will work with parents at the school site at which they're assigned.
So will they be working with parents only if having to do with community schooling? Or is it like a parent liaison? Can you, I did read it, but I didn't quite get the concept, and I was really excited because I think the parents have been asking for this, and I think you're gonna give me good news because you're smiling, Mrs. Anzo. Could you elaborate a little bit more so our parents could hear it? Please.
So the purpose of having a community space, a community schools integrated into the school sites is to be able to give those services to each school. Each school is a community. So each school has different needs, each school runs a little different, and the parents have different needs. So this room, this space will give access to parents, advocacy for parents, for students. And we have 3 family resource centers, but this is actually is going to happen at their site. So that person, so Julio's position is district-wide right now. These jobs will be for the site. They'll be specific to that site. So they'll be running that community room at the school site alongside with the principal under the direction of Ed Services, and then the director of the Family Resource Centers or FACE, they would be overseeing the whole project.
So I know there's interest in parents being part of interviews. Maybe the district can consider, since these positions are going to be working closely with parents, correct?
Yes.
That maybe this would be an avenue for but we would have to open it if the board decided to do that and have parents involved in the interview process. There are different parent groups, and then there are parents that are not involved in any group, that the opportunity to be on a interview panel, if the board chose to do that, it would have to be a fair process. So I think it's something, a conversation we can have and discuss, since they are working with parents, but it would have to not just be, I want to be on it and I'm on it. It's, I mean, we have how many students? 7,100 and something students. So how many parents do we have? About 14,000. The opportunity to be on those interviews, if we wanted to make it, if we decided to, and then make it fair, all of them need that opportunity, because this person will be working with all parents, and it's not to discriminate about any certain parent group. It would have to be fair, but it's just something to consider. Thank you for answering the questions. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. I think that's another great recommendation, Señora Rivas. Okay, we will then move on to H.
Don't we need to vote on that?
Oh, I'm sorry, we haven't voted. Yes. Yes, can we do a line vote, please?
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Barrera. Motion passes 3-0.
Very good. We now move to item G, which is another revised job description. teacher on special assignment T TOSA, professional learning community teacher, to teacher on special assignment TOSA, lesson designer and mentor. I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Okay, very good. Okay, and any comments or questions? Okay, we'll take a line vote then.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira,
Move on to
3-0.
revised job description, H, English learner instructional coach to teacher on special assignment, English learner specialist, TOSA. Entertain a motion.
Second.
Comments, questions? We'll take a line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira, passes 3-0.
I, action item, request for an additional position, Director 1 of Family and Community Engagement, one full-time equivalent. Entertain a motion.
Make a second.
That was Senor Jimenez, I think. Who made the motion?
I mean,
Okay, okay. Motion by Senora Gilpa, second by Mr. Jimenez. Comments, questions? Line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira, passes 3-0.
Item J, request for adding positions, community school site coordinator. One, this is 12 full-time equivalents. Need a motion?
Make a motion.
Second? Okay, comments, questions? Line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira,
Item
passes
K.
3-0.
Request for adding positions, parent education specialist, 12 full-time equivalents. Entertain a motion.
Second.
Comments, questions?
Just to share, this may be an opportunity to involve parents in the interview process, because it is directly, even more so than the other one, a position where this person works with the parents at each school site, and to consider it. Discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, it is kind of exciting, I think, that we're hiring parent education specialists for every school. So we're hiring 12 parent education specialists. So, you know, I know anyone that wants to apply, please apply, you know. And I know we have very competent people here in the audience. Okay, I lost track. Where were we?
We need to take a vote.
Yes, line vote, please.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
L is information job description. It's a first reading program manager of universal pre kindergarten. I don't know if any board member might have a comment or question concerning the item. Okay. We will then move on to 9, which is administrative services. Action item AB 1200, Alisal Teachers Association. Entertain a motion.
Make a motion.
Second.
Comments, questions? Line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
Administrative Services B, action item, a tentative agreement between the Alisal Union School District and Alisal Teachers Association for 23-24 school year. Entertain a motion.
So
Make-
moved.
Second.
Whoops.
Motion, I think, by Senora Gilpas, I think, and second by Mr. Jimenez. Comments, questions? Line vote.
Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira.
Yes.
C,
Passes 3-0.
salary schedule change. Alisal Teachers Association certificated. Motion.
Make a motion.
Second?
Second, comments, questions? Line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo?
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez?
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira?
Yes.
D, consider and determine process to fill board vacancy. Take any action to determine all aspects of the appointment process for filling the board vacancy, including but not limited to setting dates, establishing committees, and determining the questions, application rules, and process. Motion? Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments, questions? Yes, Senora Gilles.
I know we've been through the appointment process before. I think about 100 years ago, I was appointed. It's been quite a while, the first time. And it's changed a lot. I think with Ms. Garcia, we also did an appointment. And all that I would ask, I know we're going to talk about the dates and so forth. I want to ask about the questions. Who comes up with the questions? And I'm going to state why I'm asking that is because I believe that the only requirement to be on a school board is to live in the area, whatever district, is it District 1? To live in the area and then to be a registered voter, I believe. Those are the only requirements. So I would like the questions to reflect that that's all we expect. I don't think the questions are gonna ask the interviewees, can you explain the LCAP process? Or what's the budget? Or anything that, that are too difficult, because we all started with not knowing all those things and we learned them. So I'm just hoping that the questions are at the level that the interviewees can express themselves and that we're not there to put them on the spot, or whoever knows more or whoever knows less will make it to fill the vacancy. And it's my understanding that if the board members aren't all in agreement, then we will come to an election. However, we're not the ones, also the board is not the ones that make all these decisions. We're also bound by state laws. And I could see Mr. Martinez doing that. So we hope to be able to fill the vacancy, but all that I would ask is the questions are fair and we're not going to ask them what's the size of the NPR rooms or things that a normal person may not know, because I don't think that's fair. And I think that we're looking for someone who just wants to do the work, who cares about student achievement, who can work with a team, because none of us are the boss of anybody. I cannot direct Mr. Koenig. I can't direct anybody. We collaboratively work together. So we're looking for a team member, and sometimes a community member might not know a whole bunch of stuff, but they're going to come off like they want to be team members, and that's what we're looking for. So which brings me to the question, who makes up the questions?
We got these questions, I believe, from the California School Boards Association years ago when we did this the first time.
Okay.
And
do they get to see the questions beforehand or no?
they're on the board agenda right now, so they can be read by anybody who has access to the agenda.
Yes, I haven't seen them in years and years and years. Are there any questions that you know of that we don't want to stump the stars? We're not looking for.
Most of them just look like they're questions that to get the candidate talking about why they want to be a board member and how are they involved in the community.
So do we even know where is it going to take place, in this room? Or is that what we're discussing?
Well, that's one of the
Okay.
questions that we need to answer. The last time that we did this, we did it at Montebella, and the reason was we wanted to keep the candidates. We wanted the candidates to have a place outside of the boardroom where they could wait while the other candidates were being interviewed. We could do the same thing here, I guess, by using the the staff lounge over at Jesse G. Sanchez. It's a little bit further of a walk than they had 2 years ago when we did this at Montebello. But we didn't want to just have the candidate that wasn't being interviewed just go into the board closed session room. So I recommend that we go back to Montebello.
Thank you. That was my only question, Mr. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Excuse me, about the process, if, who decide, okay, we are decide that who's gonna be the next, board member, but how many votes they have to have?
They have to have 3 votes.
3
And I'm going to turn this over to our general counsel.
Thank you. I apologize for my raspy voice. The votes necessary is 3. And because now the board is down 1 member and there's 4, it's really important that we have at minimum a quorum, right? We want everybody who can show up to that meeting to please show up. And if a candidate for the position gets 3 votes, then we have a new board member. If we do not get 3 votes, I will provide guidance on how the board can get the 3 votes. But it needs to be the board. You can't delegate that important decision to anyone or anything. We can use a variety of methods in terms of drawing lots, picking cards, throwing dice, but at the end of the day, the board still has to raise their hand and make a vote. If the candidate does not get 3 votes, and in that case, the law calls that a lapse. There's just a fancy word for you guys didn't get your act together. Then it means that it automatically goes to an election. And we get to spend lots of money as a district to pay for that. You're welcome.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think that we can also create our own questions, I believe. I thought I read that somewhere.
Yes, I believe you can.
Yes, Trustee Ocampo, you can create your own questions. This is your process. I think in years past, look, it may feel kind of like we haven't been here in a while, but this is old territory. What Mr. Koenig was talking about in terms of a lot of the information coming from the California School Boards Association. They specialize in school boards. They're made up of school boards. So they absolutely fashion their questions with exactly Trustee Gilpa's concerns in mind. This is not stump the all-star, right? There's, in fact, quite the opposite. Because of the importance of the position and because the position comes from a member of the community, the questions tend to gravitate towards the sincerity of why someone wishes to participate on the dais. We don't expect members of the public to be experts. That's why Mr. Koenig and his team, myself, we have lots of years worth of technical experience. But at the end of the day, the board is the one who brings a perspective of the community. And these questions are designed to make that shine. What is your participation, involvement with this community that qualifies you above the bare minimum of being just somebody who's over 18, registered to vote and lives in the area, right? Like they wouldn't, if they didn't meet those qualifications, they wouldn't even be in front of you. Mr. Koenig would vet them out.
Thank you then.
Thank you.
We will then proceed to line votes. Sorry.
May I ask, I know we're talking about the process, and this is the time where we could come together. And I know I am totally against rolling the dice, getting a name. I would like to, for that not to happen, because it's just such an important position.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna, I don't know, it just doesn't seem, it doesn't seem right to me. So I think it needs to be an educated decision that we make and try our best to select someone. If it doesn't work out, then let it go to the election. But it deserves discussion with us and I think to value whoever community member applied for it, to to respect that. It has there's dignity behind it. And, and doing that just takes away from that. So that's my thought. I don't know if that's something we can establish now. If you all feel the same way, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Thank
no, I concur with you. I 100% support that we don't roll the dice or big, you know, numbers out of a jar or something. I don't want to do that either. I don't know, Senor Jimenez.
No, I'm support
your
your
thoughts?
decision,
Okay.
but and the next board meeting, we're gonna be three only.
Mm.
And then we need the three votes.
Mm.
If we don't have the three votes, it's gonna be a process of, what is the name?
Election.
Election.
And that election would be a special election or in November?
I haven't done the math yet on that. I'm guessing it would be a special election. And that would be something that this district would pay for. That's not cheap.
So in the event, may I continue with my questions, Mr. Ocampo? So in the event that we don't all agree, then it may have to be a special election?
I would have to
Or,
come, well,
or
look.
wait till
so
November? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question and I apologize for not having the answer for you now.
That's okay. I'd
because-
rather have the right answer than
Absolutely.
thank you.
I will bring you the next time we talk about this, when we, it's for real, that answer. What the reason, these are great questions, but they anticipate a breakdown at the board level, right? So I'm not anticipating, that's why the same thing with the dice and all that, we're not going to get there if the board is doing its job and discussing this and either saying as a team, we don't have the right candidate in front of us, or we think this decision should be placed in the hands of the people, or happy day, we have the right person, why not just make this appointment now, right? I will bring forward the calculations for that so you know the consequences of what your decision will be. But it all begins and ends with the board and its own self-restraint. The reason that you hear wacky ideas about cards and dice, I've been through this, not only here, but at other board, around I serve as general counsel other places. It gets weird. And I don't want to have the board not have every option on the table. If you choose not to use an option, that's awesome. You don't have to use it. But it would also handcuff you if, like, I'm making it up because of these other boards that I've been at, not coming to an agreement is going to cost them $5 million. That's a big oopsie, right? Especially when the reality is that that person, even if you appoint the person, they're going to have to run for election in November anyway, right? So, there's, if it's going to cost money, that's something that we'll have to communicate with the county, because we don't come up with that number. That number is generated by the county. They send us a tab. They say, wow, you guys want to really do this. This is going to be the cost per ballot.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ocampo.
Proceed to a line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Board Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Barrera.
Okay, number 10 are future agenda items that board members can review. I don't know if anyone wishes to add a new item.
Yes, I want to add some.
Yes.
Mr. Conning, I would like you to give us two presentations from your point of view as soon as possible. One of the presentations being a review of the special education program, and the other one on the what is the district plan for the social emotional learning and mental health. We would like to know about your vision as a superintendent of these 2 points. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. We move on to public comments for the closed session agenda. There will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There's no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on closed session agenda items may do so at this time. We have a starting time of 8 p.m.
Thank you so much for opening it again. I would like to thank you, Ms. Gilpas, for your recommendations to have parent involvement in during interviews. And I think that's important, and especially for community schools, because we are a community and we want to have the opinion of everybody, which is there's a lot of directors and directives running the district, but there's more of us parents running the district and going with our students. So I think that's very important for us to be able to be part of it. Thank you so much for that. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have an ending time then of 8:01 p.m. then. Okay. I would like to suspend the regular board meeting and call to order the special meeting. So we will call to order, time call to order is 8:02 p.m. If we can have a line roll call.
Vice President Ocampo,
Present.
Clerk Jimenez,
Present.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira, Trustee Garcia.
Okay.
Ms. Garcia is absent.
And then if we could have Mr. Koenig lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance again.
Please stand. Ready? Salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have the adoption of the agenda.
I make a motion.
Very good. And comments, questions? We'll take a line vote.
Board Vice President Ocampo,
Yes.
Clerk Jimenez,
Yes.
Trustee Gilpus Pereira,
Two, public comment concerning items on the open session agenda and/or non-agenda items. There will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There's no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees in open session may do so at this time. We have a starting time of 8:03 p.m. And we have an ending time of 8:03 p.m. Association comments, teachers, LSL Teachers Association. Okay. CSEA. Okay, and the United Substitute Teachers. 3, public comments, closed session agenda items only. There will be a 2-minute limit for individuals and a 20-minute limit on total public comments. There's no ceding of one's time to other individuals. Individuals wishing to address the Board of Trustees on closed session item may do so at this time. We have a starting time of 8:04, and we have an ending time of 8:04. I would like now to resume the regular meeting concurrently with a special meeting for the purposes of closed session. We will now we will now return to closed session at 8:04. I think we should. We will take a 10-minute break, people. I don't know, man. I felt like I was repeating myself. Yeah. Those are like are like we have 6.
Claudia, I saw the email with the links for the new website. This is good design. Hey, it's all you, girl. It's all you. That's what I'm saying. It's all you. It is. You got the team to help you back up, but at the end of the day, you see all the what's it saying, like you need all the mixed potatoes. Do that, right? Do all that.
It really looks nice.
Yeah.
I don't like to look, right now I think
Have you shown it to Mr. Koenig yet? Well, when are you planning to start over?
why don't we talk about it? Well,
Okay.
what's her name? Well, you like what we
Okay.
because that's on the.
Gotta have it in all leadership know and just know that cutovers is July 1. I think that's we haven't really said it tonight that.
And you, can we meet,
You know what would be good?
and
Let's have one more meeting with the committee so they can see what we're seeing, be impressed by it, and then they can also start spreading the board.
and we also, we,
Yeah, he has me. Yeah, we had our construction meeting. Friday. I'll be Friday. I'll be here Friday. Yeah. Yeah. But it looks nice, buddy. I was impressed. I was happy for you, and I was in awe with you. That was right, Claudia, man. That was nice. Did you pat yourself? Yeah. I'm impressed, Claudia. I'm telling you, I was impressed. I was like, freaking A, Claudia. Like, I saw my in loud voice. When I saw it, like, holy crap. And I called Michael, have you seen this thing? Yeah. Fucking good. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to you everywhere I go because you thought I did it all. She did the mixed potatoes. You had it. The mixed potatoes.
You can't go? You say huh? You ready? You want to go outside for a walk? All right, let's do it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these ones are too flat.
Okay. What am I doing? Okay. Yes, we are resuming both the regular and the special meeting concurrently at 9:08 p.m. The board has nothing to report. Thank you very much and have a good evening. Bye-bye.